So yeah, my manager told me that he's putting me on something called a PIP. And I wasn't really sure what that was. And so I went to ChatGPT and I asked what a PIP is. And it's a nickname, which is kind of weird, but I think it also might mean performance improvement plan. And yeah, he said if I don't get my act together, then we might have to talk about my compensation starting next quarter, which is not good because my wife's llama is still recovering from that surgery. So I was wondering, do you have any advice about what to do about being on a PIP?
What to do when you're drinking Dr. Pibb?
No, dude. Are you listening to me, man?
Yeah, man. I heard you were like you're something about the AI llama.
My boss wants to put me on a performance improvement plan, dude. I'm kind of freaking out. I need some advice.
Have you tried improving the performance at increasing shareholder? Hold on, sorry, I gotta. There's just like a video that made me really upset.
Yeah.
Is there like a? Could you just do better?
What were we talking about?
Attention, economy. Our number goes up.
All right, Kingsley. I've got a fresh challenge for you today here on Number Goes Up.
Yeah.
We have to try to hold a conversation with each other for the next 20 to 30 minutes before post-production without losing track of what we're talking about. We have to pay attention to each other for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And I almost lost while explaining the rules to you.
I feel that's kind of. I might have to talk to HR. That feels like an invasive thing for a coworker to say.
Well, it's because today we're talking about the attention economy here on Number Goes Up. Have you ever heard of the phrase attention economy before?
To a business person like me, everything is a resource to be extracted. And so, like, we have like a financial economy with money and whatnot, your golds, your dollars, etc. And then there's the economies of the human heart and the human mind.
Amen.
And the attention economy is like about getting as much attention, or as much people looking at you as possible.
Exactly. You nailed it. End of the episode. We won the challenge. Well, yeah. So when I think of economy, obviously, like we think of money, right? Tender, legal tender. But as a wise man once told me, time is money, right?
True.
And like you said, there are all sorts of resources out there that we as stalwart businessmen must pilfer from the people.
I wouldn't say pilfer, I would say reallocate, but carry on.
Reallocate. See, this is why I'm on the PIP. In the modern landscape of modern media, consumers' attention or the audience attention, our attention, our lovely viewers and listeners' attention is one of, if not the most valuable commodities that exists right now.
Yeah.
And so the attention economy has developed and grown around this concept of realizing that the most profitable way to create content and basically exist online is to be as attention grabbing as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that like every single time I'm interacting with, the phone, the computer, the television, somebody is always trying to get my attention and, get me to buy something or look at something. I mean, even today, I'm a hero of the environment and public transport, so I took the bus on my way to work. And there's just like, not only are there visual ads on the bus, but they're also like telling me about the bakeries that I'm passing by or things, that are going on. And, like, oh, by this stop, you can go to this clothing store, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And what is everybody on the bus doing? Is there anything you notice in common about people on the bus?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you what they were doing. I was looking at my phone the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And if you look up from your phone for 1 second, you kooky kid, you would probably notice that on public transport, most people are staring at their phones the whole dang time.
Yeah.
And what are they watching on their phones?
hopefully number goes up.
Yeah, so I mean, social media is free, right? But it's not free.
Yeah.
Because we're paying with our attention. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this with you today is because obviously we work in this industry and I'm thinking about it all the time, but it got me wondering, you know what I mean? How is this content, like we watch YouTube, or even if you pay for a subscription service like Netflix or Amazon Prime, right? There's this kind of concept that it's free, or you're paying a monthly subscription, but then you get unlimited access to the content, right? Whereas before, the streaming service situation really popped off, and social media kind of became so superfluous with everybody in the world. It was like TV and newspapers and stuff like that. But you pay for a cable subscription, right? And cable's quite expensive. Or you go and you pay for the newspaper subscription. You buy the newspaper at the convenience store, right? So we've become so accustomed to free content. But as we know, as business people, nothing is ever free.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, we're really paying with our attention. And so it's ads, right? It's advertising that is fueling this attention economy. And last year, according to Forbes, there was over $850 billion in global ad revenue across the world.
That's nearly as much as Elon Musk's new Tesla Pay package, which is, crazy.
Coincidence?
I think so.
But yeah, so I mean, looking at that number, it's clear to see why our attention is so valuable, right? But that's not the only thing that we are paying with for this content, right? So basically, if you're watching YouTube and you're not paying for YouTube Premium or whatever, Spotify, all these streaming services kind of work the same way. Usually they have like a premium option where you pay a monthly fee and then you don't have to look at or listen to ads, right? But you're paying for the privilege to avoid the ads. But even still, there's another option there. What I'm trying to say is that it's also our data.
Okay, so it's also our data, and then also they want the advertising revenue, and then they also want just the time. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So these social media platforms, right, basically they give us content for free out of the kindness of their hearts. And we watch this content as much as we can. We eat it up. It's very snackable, you know. Short form content, TikToks, etc. They are designed to be as stimulating and fun to watch as possible. So hours can kind of like melt away.
Yeah.
But as you're scrolling on social media, right, these apps and these algorithms start to understand your tastes and preferences. They might begin to understand the general location, like where you're located, you know, what kind of foods you like, what kind of shows you like to watch. Maybe if you're watching like a lot of fishing videos or something like that, then they can start to build a profile like this guy lives in Tokyo, you know, he's really into fishing, et cetera, et cetera. And why do you think this information would be valuable to anybody besides just being nosy?
Yes, if you're like looking for friends, you know, you might want to know who's into fishing around you, or if you were like selling fishing materials, like I don't know, they got like lures and rods and stuff like that. Do people use string, like a net? I don't.
It depends.
I just get my fish at the store.
I use my bare hands.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, it's called noodling actually.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, I mean, so obviously, of course, these companies, what they do is they basically can start building a profile of your data and then sell it to the advertisers, right? And so advertisers can start showing you more targeted ads or more personalized ads that are more likely to get you hooked. So like what you were saying earlier, being on the bus, if you're passing by the same bakery every single day, and then that bakery decides to run an ad in the bus, you know, showing their tasty, sweet treats, you're a lot more likely to go purchase something from that bakery. Right?
Well, I'm right there.
You're right there.
Yeah.
But if I saw an ad for that bakery, we live on like opposite sides of the city, that's going to be a lot less effective marketing because I'm a lot less inclined to go, you know, buy those sweet treats. I'm going to get my sweet treat somewhere else. And I might be the kind of guy that's into fishing with my bare hands, and that's not really up your alley, right? So if you see an ad for, I guess, nothing, because I don't need anything.
The river.
That's not going to be very appealing. But for me, I'm going to be like, that's where I'm going this weekend, right? So the point here is that I just find it's like this interesting cycle because we engage with this content up front for free. There's no monetary cost to engage with the content, right? But what we are paying with is not only our actual time on this in this mortal coil, but also we are essentially paying with our behavior to the social media companies. Like, does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Yeah.
But based on your tone, I feel like you're coming at this from a position that maybe this is not the best thing. And I want to ask why, because, you know, I'm in a position, I'm a member of the economy. I want to help the economy grow. And I receive a paycheck from my employer. Thank you very much. And I want to use that paycheck to buy goods and services. And I would like the goods and services to be the things that I want. So why wouldn't I want a third party to have all the information about me, to give me ads for the kinds of shirts that I would like to wear, or for the kinds of foods that I would like to eat?
Well, to be honest, I think it's kind of, my personal honest opinion is like, it's kind of like a middle ground. Because like you said, I also agree that I would rather see ads or obviously be served content in my feeds that is something that I want to see, right? And if I see ads for stuff that I'm interested in buying, it's more convenient for me as a consumer. And obviously, when I'm looking for pure entertainment, like if I'm on Netflix or whatever it is, if I'm being shown content that interests me, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So I think in some aspects, it's kind of cool how we've gotten to this point where these services and algorithms can kind of figure out the best content that they have to offer for you. But also from the perspective of a content creator and a content consumer, I've started to notice a trend over the past few years where the content itself seems to be more and more commodified and more designed from start to finish, specifically to kind of just keep me hyper focused on the content itself, on the screen, rather than being maybe more like challenging or thought-provoking. You know what I mean? Have you noticed like a general change in the way that media is created?
I think I have noticed a change in that way, where it's like, oh, we're editing things so that like you don't even have time to like breathe, or we're just trying to do sensationalized things to make you like focus on it. And I think one of the ways that like we can kind of prevent falling into those traps is to engage with like written content, like on globisinsights.com. And if we had like just like some sort of short form video that we could play in the middle of this clip,
that would be perfect.
Yeah. Back to the targeting advertising thing. I do want to say that, like, you know, in an ideal world, I would like to only receive ads for, like, if I have to receive ads, I'd like to only receive ads for like things that are useful to me. But another side of the coin that I do think we have to address is that sometimes those ads are specific in a way that is harmful. I recall reading an article about how the Meta Corporation had data on like, oh, this is like a profile of like a sad teen girl. She's more likely to buy cosmetics because she feels bad about herself. And that kind of like using that data without taking into consideration the like psychological damage that it could be doing to somebody is something we, you know, I just had to shout it out. I can't be playing in the space the whole time.
No, yeah, I get what you mean, and this is actually true too. I've been getting a lot of ads on Instagram about like weight loss solutions, and I've been like wondering where that's coming from. And then also, of course, like I clicked on it because I was like interested like, what is this? And then now it's just like nonstop.
Yeah.
So that is true. I mean, advertising is always, there's like always going to be a psychological element, right, to playing in the advertising game, I would say. And it's definitely really important, I think, as a viewer or consumer, to be aware of how these algorithms and like platforms work and why those ads are potentially being shown to you, right?
Yeah.
Because also, I think a lot of the time when we're engaging in this more like snackable content, short form like TikToks and Reels, it does kind of like pull you into almost a trance-like state.
Yeah.
So your critical thinking skills kind of go out the window. And then if you are served an ad like that, it can really affect you. Like, it can get into your brain in a way that if you were more engaged with what you were watching, it might not otherwise affect you so deeply,
Yeah.
I think, you know.
Because you're just kind of primed to be looking at the screen and not like thinking about it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting too, because so far in this conversation, we've obviously been framing it, I feel like an old man on the lawn, like yelling at the clouds, because it's easiest to frame this conversation around modern media, mostly social media or streaming platforms like Netflix and stuff. A little bit of a side tangent, but we were talking about this earlier. Netflix has been open about writing scripts for movies that are specifically written to be second screen viewing. So Netflix has become aware of the fact that a lot of people watching Netflix movies they're watching something else at the same time, or like playing a video game, or washing the dishes, or just doing something else. So movies and documentaries are being written and edited and designed specifically to kind of like baby the viewer through it. So if you're only half paying attention, you can still follow what's going on.
Yeah. And you know what, Netflix? That's my space. The people washing the dishes should be looking at this video, so they can't click the pause button or the skip button or nothing. Your hands should be completely saturated and covered in soaps, and you should just let this play through all the way to the end, and then when you're done, you can hit the like button and subscribe.
And watch it again.
Yeah.
On a separate platform.
But Netflix, they already got the money. Come on.
You're already paying for it.
Yeah.
And while we're on this tangent, more recently, these subscription services have started running, so you pay up front, right?
Yeah.
The big appeal was like with cable back in the day, cable has never been cheap, but then also obviously when you're watching cable TV, there's ad breaks every 10 or 12 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Netflix kind of started this revolution of, oh, you pay the monthly fee, but then there's no ads, and you get to choose to watch whatever you want. You don't have to watch whatever Cartoon Network is running. But now they've kind of caught on that they can start running ads even though you're already paying for it. And then of course you can pay a bit more to get rid of the ads. But I found that to be really interesting too, because I've always, from a consumer perspective, I've always kind of seen that as the major value proposition of streaming services is like the lack of ads.
Yeah.
But now we've become so accustomed to watching this content in this way that we are going back to being like willing to watch the ads, right?
Right.
And if you're in the middle of a juicy Netflix documentary and they run an ad, you're locked in, you want to know what happens next, so you're going to watch the ad.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, it's good for the shareholders. And what's better than that?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
But just to wrap it back around, the original point that I was making there is that I do feel like an old man shaking my fist at the clouds right now, but this concept of the attention economy is not new. It was coined back in 1971 by a man named Herbert A. Simon. And he originally said, and he was basically concerned about the rise of cable television. And basically when color TV kind of became more available to the masses, especially within the United States, this is when it all started, right? And people began to get more and more concerned about people watching TV, watching the television and reading less, or, being less engaged with the world around them. And now I would say TV seems like extremely benign compared to like the supercomputer in your pocket.
Man, I love to hear about it, kids these days from before I was kids these days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But he said, a wealth of information creates a poverty of attention. And I don't know.
Speak on that.
Yeah,
Speak
seriously.
on that, HAS.
Yeah. He said that back in 1971, and I find that like really interesting, right? So the seeds of concern were planted all the way back then, and I do think that that is like, as just me personally, as like Tanner, one of the biggest things that I struggle with is that this kind of unlimited access of content. You know, it's like I find myself whenever I'm watching or reading anything, there's this little like brain worm in the back of my mind that's like, yeah, but like there could be something better.
Yeah.
You know, and then that is the thing on a more personal note that concerns me the most. Is it's like I'm never satisfied with any content that I'm consuming, I feel.
Yeah. It's like sometimes you'll be like watching something, and then you know how YouTube has the recommended videos on the side. Now, I'm talking about this in the abstract. If you're looking at this on YouTube.com, do not look at that side of the screen. just it stops here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know, they're constantly advertising a new video for you right next to it, and it's like, I went here, I clicked on this video, I wanted to watch this video, and they're like, hey, you could be watching a better one.
Yeah.
And no matter what, like the platform gets the result that it wants because they want you to be on there. But as the content creator, you have to create content knowing that you're competing with not only like, you know, it's one thing for different shows on like a cable network to be like, oh, I'm on the 7 p.m. slot, I have to compete with ER or NCIS or a third show that reveals that I'm 75 years old.
House.
And yeah, there we go. But now it's like you know, we're making this video and we're in competition with the 10 recommended videos that YouTube thinks you would like to watch, and your phone, and the other people in the room, and the ad on the bus for the bakery. And so that does create an incentive for us to make a video that's loud, that's obnoxious, that makes you angry, that makes you upset, that makes you feel bad, so that your focus and emotions are on this by any means necessary.
Yeah. I mean, it's a huge challenge because obviously, being candid, breaking that fourth wall here. We're recording a podcast, we make content, and we send it out to the masses, and we ask for no money in return. All we ask is for your juicy attention.
Please pay attention to us.
But I mean, I would like to think that we are hoping to, provide some sort of value to our listeners and viewers, right? And I mean, this is our profession, and we are passionate about content creation and writing and
making
creating
art.
videos.
I'm not making content. This is art to me.
Yeah, exactly. But so I mean, I guess the last major topic that I wanted to rap with you about is. As content creators, or if you're a professional in the marketing industry or advertising or just content creation in general, how do we kind of adapt to the modern attention economy of 2025 and create valuable content for our audiences? But we have to like play that line, because I don't want to produce pure brain rot, but also I want people to watch what I'm making, and of course, that's the ultimate goal if you're in content creation in a professional capacity. Like, what is your philosophy on that?
Well, it's something I think about every day as if my life depended on it, because it does. But it is a tough balance to strike, because I think that people do, no matter what thing you're making, there is someone who wants to watch it. Even if you think like, oh, nobody, my idea is too niche, or like it's too rough or whatever, there's somebody out there that wants to see what you have created. The problem is that it's hard to hit a certain KPI or get to a certain number without luck, and then also making things that do adapt to compete directly with that attention economy. So I guess like, as far as creation is concerned, I think one, make the thing you want to make and the rest will eventually, over time, as you improve, as you reach out, as you do the other things related to the content, like advertising and brand building, eventually over time, I think that things do pan out. And then two, like, you do just have to find what amount of leaning in that you can stomach and that sets in with your company and your goals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think authenticity honestly goes a really long way, because even if you're playing the game, I really enjoy content that kind of feels like it has like a wink and a nudge kind of like vibe to it, you know what I mean? Because we're all playing in the same space. We all have to play this game. But if you're being authentic and you're being real and you're actually trying your best to provide some sort of value, I think that comes through. And I've gotten to the point, at least, where if I'm scrolling or watching a YouTube video, you can kind of like tell when people are being kind of insincere, or it just feels like there's not a lot of substance there. It's just like sucking you in. And I think as a viewer, one of the most important things you can do is just try to stay aware and remind yourself that, like, every day you are making a series of decisions about how to spend your time and how to spend your attention, right? And you might not be pulling out your wallet to buy a movie ticket, but every time you go on your phone or look at your computer, you are spending valuable time, and you are, this sounds dark, but I mean it in a more empowering way, like, you are the commodity, right? And you need to be aware of that. And like, ultimately, if you're off work and you're trying to just enjoy yourself, like, make sure you're having fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because
it's fun to have fun.
It's fun to have fun, because even video games, this is another little tangent, but I've noticed that, like, it affects video games now too. Like live service style video games that have battle passes or things like that are designed to keep you coming back. It makes me wonder what the point of engaging with this content is. You know what I mean? If it feels, so if you kind of get that feeling of like, wait a minute, I'm not even really enjoying myself, or I feel obligated to be engaging with this content, it's really important to remember that you are not obligated to be engaging with the content.
Unless its number goes up. I cannot stress this enough. I need this to pay my rent.
I am on a PIP.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just think that's really important. I'm all about mindfulness, you know, and at GLOBIS, we do talk about like mindfulness strategies in business settings. It's an important leadership skill. And just going throughout your life, I think it's important to remain vigilant and just remember that time is money.
Yeah.
And it's the one currency you can't get back.
When you're watching the videos, that you are increasing somebody's shareholder value, but remember, you're also a shareholder in yourself. So do something to increase that value. Like get an education. Yeah.
A business education.
Learn something.
Post-grad.
Yeah. It's important.
It is important.
Yeah. I mean, we're playing around about, the product placement, but it is something to invest in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, ultimately, if you get any takeaway from this, I think the most important thing is just to remember, when you start to engage with content, that your time is valuable. And if it makes you feel bad, it's trying to do that on purpose, and you have the power to put your phone down or watch something else or play a different game or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And the number must keep going up.
Hey.
Do you have any final thoughts?
No, I think we can just leave it at that, man.
Yeah.
Just like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know.
Engage with the content. Give me your engagement.
Money, 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 money. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.